Biddy was, and she wasn't a witch, you see.
No, he never believed. He said she was a witch because she did nothing but good.
The people was all afraid. A Biddy, more or less, and the priest had cursed you if you went near Biddy, right?
Yes, account of the witch.
And there was counting her a devil, that was it.
Fáilte amháin, my friends. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to look into the fascinating story of Biddy Early, the wise woman of Ireland, who some say was a witch. But before we dive in, guys, if you please hit subscribe, give us a like, leave a comment below, tell us what part of this world you're from, and don't forget to turn notifications on so you don't miss any of our videos. So, without any further delay, let's listen to the tale of Biddy Early. Biddy Early was born in 1798 in the townland of Lower Faha, County Clare, the only child of John Thomas Connors and Ellen Early. She was baptised Bridget Ellen Connors, but later took her mother's maiden name and used it for the remainder of her life. During her childhood, her family lived in poverty. Her father farmed a few acres for which he always struggled to pay the rent, and her mother scraped together a few pennies by making clothes from the flax seeds grown in nearby fields. Her mother was also able to generate a little extra income by offering herbal remedies to the locals, and she passed on her knowledge of medicinal herbs, cures and potions to Biddy. Biddy's parents died when she was just 16 years old, her mother of malnutrition and her father soon after of typhus. Biddy spent some time at the workhouse at Ennis before meeting her first husband in 1817. He was a middle-aged widower named Pat Malley. After the marriage, they settled in Gartinra near Fecal. Pat died a few years into the marriage, and there was a heated dispute between his relatives and Biddy over the ownership of the property. This was soon solved when Biddy shockingly married Pat's son, her stepson, John Malley. It was about this time that Biddy started to use her healing powers by giving out herbal cures and mysterious liquid potions. In these times, the area around Fecal was one of the most superstitious in Ireland. Piss hogs, which are evil spells of various types, were employed to bring bad luck to a neighbour or effect other mischief, and it was common for wise women to be sought out to help lift the curses. Biddy, however, did not request any money for her services, but instead allowed her clients to decide on how to compensate her. They often brought her whiskey or poitín, and her house was always well stocked with alcohol. This may or may not have contributed to the death of her second husband, who died in 1840 following a long battle with a liver ailment. Biddy's third husband was a young labourer by the name of Tom Flannery, who built them a cottage overlooking Kilbarron Lake. By now, Biddy's abilities as a healer had been perfected, and she also had an extraordinary powers of clairvoyance. She would gaze at her client, then raise a small blue bottle over one eye, through which she would see the secrets of their past and their future. The magic bottle was allegedly given to her by the fairies. Her fame as a wise woman now reached its peak, and there was a constant stream of people seeking her help, with often 50 or more people queuing down the road outside her cottage. Her most esteemed client was said to be the Prince of Wales. Biddy shunned the Catholic Church and never went to Mass. Much to the annoyance of the local clergy, her healing powers far exceeded anything available to them. This led to allegations from the pulpit that Biddy was some kind of witch, and probably in league with the devil. One famous story goes that a priest from Fecal, who regularly denounced Biddy amongst his parishioners, was one day passing along the lane in front of her house. He exchanged a few harsh words with Biddy, and then just beyond her house, he came to a stream. The stream flowed across the road, and his horse suddenly stopped. The horse could not be made to move backwards or forwards, and so the priest was stuck like this in the middle of the stream. After some time, Biddy eventually ambled down and muttered some magic words to the horse, and only then did it continue to take the priest on his journey. Biddy's third husband Tom met an early death, much the same as the predecessors, and in July 1869, when she was in her 70s, Biddy met her fourth and final husband. Thomas Meany was a young man from Limerick, in his 30s, who had gone to Biddy looking for a cure. She offered to heal him, but in exchange he would have to marry her, which he did in St. Mary's Church. The Limerick Chronicle ran a small account of the event, which went as follows. We understand that a marriage of an extraordinary kind was celebrated this week in Limerick by one of the parish priests, that of an old woman known as Biddy Early, who resides near Tulla, and who, among the peasantry, has a reputation of a witch or a sorceress, who can cure all kinds of diseases, and such was her fascinating power over a fine young man that she succeeded in inducing him to become her fourth husband. Despite being nearly 40 years his senior, Biddy outlived even Thomas. Before she died in April 1874, she seemed to make peace with the church and asked for the parish priest, Father Andrew Connellan, to give her her last rites. She also asked him to take care of her magic bottle and throw it into Kilbarron Lake when she was gone. It was said that after handling the bottle, Father Conlon could light candles merely with the touch of his fingers. The lake later became known as Biddy's Lake, and there have been repeated attempts to recover her magic blue bottle. To this day, Biddy is still held in high regard, and often people come to Kilbarron Lake or to her tumble-down cottage, where her spirit is said to still linger, hoping for a cure or to gain insight into their future. And so there we have it, guys, the story of Biddy Early, Ireland's wise woman, or witch, depending on who you talk to. What do you guys think? What kind of magic did Biddy have in her magic blue bottle? If you're from Ireland, my guess is boiled 7-Up, but who knows? Perhaps we may never know. So for now, this is Jay. These are our legends. Good night and good luck.